Hi, Nat. All right, let's just get started then. Um, hi everyone, it's Ellen here. Thanks again for joining me this week. I hope you all had a lovely long weekend and family day. Today we're going to be talking about music and how it can positively impact your child's development. So at the end, I'll be giving all of you a mini music lesson, which will hopefully inspire all of you to incorporate music and musical activities into your and your child's lives. So before we get started, I just wanted to put a call out to any of the parents who are watching right now. Feel free to put in the comments whether or not you have a musical background. Hi, Danielle. Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you sing? Do you play an instrument? Were you in a band? Are you currently in a band? Um, were you in your school's choir or band? I'm just curious. Or, oh yes, piano, me too. You can also share if you don't have a musical background. Oh, Nat, you too. Um, And I guess while people are sharing in the comments, I'll just share my own musical background. So I started learning piano at a young age. And in high school, I accompanied my school choirs on the piano. And as well, during high school, I started giving music lessons myself. And oh gosh, people are sharing in the chats. Piano as well, it's a popular one for sure. Yes, I started giving music lessons in high school, and then I continued throughout university. And now I still play piano in my spare time, and I enjoy singing very casually. I never really took any formal lessons, but it's something that I enjoy doing. This kind of just leads to one of the big takeaways that I want to emphasize tonight is that you don't really need a personal or very formal music background in order to make music a part of your child's life. Um, and there are some really easy and intuitive ways to do that, okay? So you don't need to be a professional musician with formal training. You don't need to be the best singer. I know I definitely am not the best singer. So, I hope that this session tonight will reassure you that you'll be able to help your child get all the benefits of music, no matter your skill level, okay? Oh my gosh, yeah, the violin is so cool. My housemate and I were just listening to very emotional violin music before this, and it really is a beautiful instrument. Um, yes, if you have any questions at all throughout the live, please leave them in the comments below. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to them tonight during the live, but I'll come back in the comments in the next day or so to answer any questions. All right. So, I first want to go over the many benefits of music for child development. And I want to really stress that you don't need to sign your child up for music lessons in order for them to benefit from music, okay? Music lessons are fantastic. They're so much fun. I myself was put in music lessons as a kid, but they're expensive, right? And they just aren't an option for everyone. So, what I really want to stress and what I hope you'll all recognize by the end of this is that, even singing to your child and engaging with them through musical activities will help support various areas of their development. Okay? So, one of the ways by which music can benefit your child is by supporting intimate relationships and healthy bonds. And this is true right from birth. Okay, so we know from studies that music can soothe premature babies in hospital nurseries. And babies will also listen to their parents sing a lullaby for twice as long as they would listen to baby talk or adult speech. So even just by singing lullabies to your infant or your toddler, you're using rhythm, lyrics, and changes in pitch to communicate love and affection and security to your child during such a formative period of their development. And that's something that, of course, is very, very positive. Okay. So music also promotes speech and language development in children. So we're all born with a certain sensitivity to sound and especially patterns in sound. And this forms the basis for learning how to communicate with each other. So as babies begin to babble, this helps develop, the neural pathways that will eventually help them learn language. So when babies hear others singing, they begin to pay attention to sounds, and eventually they'll practice forming sounds with their mouths themselves as they learn how to speak and how to sing. And what's really cool is that the Canadian Pediatric Society actually recommends singing and reading to your child because this will help them learn new words and expand their vocabulary. So another aspect of development that music supports is motor development. So when we talk about motor development, we're referring to both gross motor development. So these are things like balance and being able to do like big movements, so like walking and running. But we're also talking about fine motor development and fine motor skills. So this refers to dexterity and like smaller, more precise movements. So even in infancy, gently bouncing your child or your baby up and down on your knee or on your lap in time to music helps them feel the beat within their own bodies. And then as they get older, they can tap, they can clap, and they can wiggle their fingers along to the music and the lyrics. And all of these movements and performing all of these movements in time with the music really helps to develop their sense of rhythm and their coordination, okay? And as they get even older, they can start dancing to music or learning how to play an instrument. And this will further help to, develop their coordination and their awareness of their own bodies in space. And the last thing that I want to talk about is how music can help your child develop emotional regulation skills. So research has shown that children who participate in music and movement classes show better self-regulation. And this is really cool. And it might be because through learning music, they become familiar with concepts like stopping and starting, major and minor, slowing down and speeding up, verses and choruses. And this in turn, and recognizing this sort of organization might actually help them better modulate their own behavior. As well, if your children are in group music lessons or if they're learning music alongside others, they learn really important lessons, right? They learn how to take turns, they learn how to share instruments with others, they learn how to celebrate others' achievements. And research actually suggests that music lessons can promote pro-social skills or behaviors that are intended to help other people, which of course is very positive. Yeah, Nat, you're absolutely right. It's really, really cool. And at the end of the live, I'll link some of the articles that talk about all the benefits of music for child development in the comments, so you can all read that in your own time, okay? So yes, if you have any questions at all about the benefits of music on development, just feel free to pop them in the chat anytime, and I'll get to them at some point either tonight or tomorrow. So, in summary, music can positively impact many aspects of development, right? Building these intimate relationships with caregivers, it helps with speech and language development, motor development, emotional regulation, and even more. So most importantly, while music lessons are a great way to expose your children to music, the reality is they aren't accessible to everyone, and You can incorporate music into your child's life yourself, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to walk us through a mini music lesson, and I'll show you a few activities that you can take inspiration from yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go through it as if I'm teaching a child, so it might seem pretty simple at some points. But if you're a parent watching right now, I'd still encourage you to participate in the comments if you can. It'll make things more fun for all of us. I'll also be a bit more animated than usual and a little bit more sing-songy than usual, more so, than when I'm talking to adults, like how I normally do. And this is actually really important because when you're teaching your child music, if you're super enthusiastic and you're having a lot of fun and you're sing-songy, then they will be more engaged and they will have more fun as well. Okay? So let me just check the chat. Oh, of course not. So when I teach, I like to start with a hello song. So hello songs are really helpful because they signal to your child that musical activities are starting. And it's especially helpful for children who do well with transitions between activities. So it doesn't have to be complicated. And here's one of my favorites, okay? Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. So yeah, pretty simple. And if you're with your child, of course, you could replace friends with their name. And if you're with several children, or their siblings, then you can sing the song once for each child and like substitute each time like their name. What am I trying to say? So for each child, you can substitute for their name each time for each rendition of the hello song. Okay? So next, we're going to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but with a twist. So this brings me to a really important point. I think music is a really wonderful medium for introducing children to concepts that might be a bit complex. Because music is fun, so it makes the learning fun. So something that I really like doing in my music lessons is teaching kids about American Sign Language, or ASL. It's awesome for kids because, they're not only developing their coordination and their fine motor skills by learning how to sign, but it also opens up conversations about disability, the deaf and hard of hearing communities, and also how people can communicate differently given their disability. And, these might be ideas that would otherwise be really hard to convey to a young child, right? But music gives you the opportunity to help your child develop, sensitivity and awareness to different cultures and communities and instill an appreciation for them. So, back to our activity. What I like to do is I will look at the lyrics of a certain song and then pick out maybe like one or two lyrics or like key words per line. And then I'll search up the ASL sign for them just on Google. So, and then we'll sing the song together. And then when we sing those words, we'll also sign them at the same time. So unfortunately with copyright and being on Facebook, I'm a little bit limited in my song choices, which is why we're going to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star together. But you can really do this exercise with any song. Kids love Disney songs. Baby Shark is always a crowd pleaser. And then you could search up the ASL signs for shark and all the different family members. So as you can see, it's a very versatile activity, and hopefully you'd be able to recreate this yourself with your child's favorite songs. So back to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. First, let's start with the first line. so we can learn the sign for star together. So all you need to do is have your two pointer fingers up, kind of like above your head, like this, and then you're just going to move them up and down. And that's how you sign for star. And to help you remember this, it helps to think of this sign as if you're pointing out like different stars in the sky, okay? So this is star. Okay, let me just check the comments. Yes, baby shark really is a bop. And honestly, I haven't met a child who doesn't like baby shark. Yes, okay, so this is star, okay? And then let's think about the next few lines. So up above, or sorry, I skipped a line. How I wonder what you are, up above the world so high. So now we can sign for world. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put up your two hands in front of you like this, and then you're gonna make two W's for world. So you're just gonna put your three fingers up on each hand, and then what you're gonna do, keeping your both hands in the W, you're gonna put one hand on top of the other, like this. And then to do the sign for world, you're just gonna spin one hand around the other, like this. So I'll do it again for all of you. You're just gonna go like this. So if you think about it, this sign is sort of representing the Earth spinning about in its orbit, okay? So we learned star, and we learned world, like that. And then lastly, for like a diamond in the sky, we can also learn how to sign for sky. So you're just gonna start with your arm across your chest, like this, and then you're gonna raise it like this. So again, just with your arm across your chest, and then you're gonna raise it. And then if you think about it, this is sort of representing, showing the great big sky. Okay, so we just learned three signs. We learned star, so we're just gonna point at all the stars with our pointer fingers. We learned world, so we're gonna make two W's, put them on top of each other, and then spin them around. And then we learned sky, like that. Then I'm just gonna check the comments. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Nat. Yes, signs are kind of tricky to grasp at first, but hopefully if you think about what they actually represent, so pointing out the stars in the sky, the Earth spinning for world, and then sky like that. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so just as a reminder, we're gonna sing Twinkle Twinkle together. And then when we come across those words in the song, so star, world, and sky, we're also going to sign them as we're singing, okay? So if you're watching this with your child right now, I hope both of you join me so that I'm not just singing alone to myself here. And honestly, even if you're a parent watching this alone and you're not with your child right now, feel free to join, okay? Let me just take a drink of water before and check the comments. Thanks, Nat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready to sign. So our first sign is going to be star, okay? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. That was fun. I hope you learned something new. Maybe you'll even remember, the 3 signs that we just learned. But again, for the parents who are watching, it's a pretty simple concept to incorporate some ASL into, um, your renditions of these various songs. But I promise, especially some of your younger kids will be like mind blown and will think that, ASL is super, super cool. And again, they're learning to gain that appreciation for different cultures and communities. So I hope you enjoyed that. Aw, thanks, Nat. Okay, so next we are going to play a game. And we are going to learn about tempo through this game. So, tempo is a fancy music word that means speed. So, if we're talking about whether a song is fast or slow, we're talking about tempo. Okay? So, in music, one of the words that we use if we want to describe something as fast, we use the word allegro. So A-L-L-E-G-R-O. Okay? So if a song is fast, we call it allegro. And on the other hand, if a song is really slow, then we can use the word largo. So that's L-A-R-G-O for largo. And that means slow. And what's really cool, is that a lot of musical terms are actually Italian. So allegro means joyful and cheerful and happy, and largo means broad. So you can imagine how these words came to mean fast and slow in terms of music. Okay? So, to help us learn about tempo and allegro and largo, we can think about different animals and whether these animals move fast or slow. So what I'm going to do, I have pictures of 6 animals here, okay? And then I'm going to put one of them up, and then in the comments, we can discuss whether the animal moves really fast or really slow, and then we can sort them if they're allegro or largo, okay? And for the parents watching, I know this is a rather easy task for you, but this is a super, super fun sort of activity to do with your kids. And all kids love animals, and it's just a fun time. All right, so let's start with the first animal. So we have here a lion. So when a lion is chasing after its prey, is it moving fast or slow? And you can share in the comments if you would like. So first we can decide whether the lion moves fast or slow, and then we can decide if it's allegro or largo based on that. So I'll just wait a little bit longer. So does the lion run fast or slow? Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, Nat, your daughter says fast. Awesome. So the lion runs fast. So does that mean the lion goes allegro or largo? Allegro or largo? You want to share in the comments? So you can choose between the two. It's kind of tricky at first, to be honest. Allegro, amazing. Good job, everyone. So you're right. A lion runs really, really fast. So that's why we call it allegro. Amazing. So next, we have this animal. And this is a sloth. So, does a sloth move fast or slow? You want to sound off in the comments. Fast or slow? And if you're feeling very comfortable with the concepts of allegro and largo, you could maybe even say whether it's allegro or largo. Amazing. Slow. So which one is it? Whoops, let's get these in frame. So is it amazing? Largo. Whoops, that's not the right one. You guys are absolutely right. On fire. Oh my goodness. So the sloth moves slowly, so that's why it's largo. All right. So just in the interest of time, we're going to do one more, okay? So this is a snail. So does a snail move fast or does it move slow? And I feel like we're pretty good with allegro and largo now. So you can tell me right away whether it's allegro or, I seem to have lost my largo, or largo. So think about whether a snail moves fast or slow, and then whether it's allegro or largo. Yes, amazing. So because our little snail here moves slowly, we say that it is largo. Fantastic. Okay, thank you everyone for participating in the comments. That was so much fun. So I hope that helped with learning allegro and largo. So maybe, if you're taking a leisurely stroll tomorrow, you'll think, I'm moving largo. And then if you start running really, really fast and sprinting, then you'll think, I'm going allegro. Okay, and again, that's how we describe speed in musical terms. And everything that we just talked about was about tempo. Okay, so lastly, we are going to end with a goodbye song. So again, this is a similar purpose to the hello song. It just really helps, especially for kids who do well with transitions. It just helps to signal the end of the music lesson, okay? So you can just kind of use the same melody that we used for our hello song and just sing, goodbye friends, goodbye friends, goodbye friends, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And that was it. So that was a mini music lesson, just a little baby one because we have such limited time together. But I hope you gained some inspiration for some musical activities that you can do with your kids. So the aim is simply to have fun with your kids, to use music as a medium for fostering positive relationships and teaching important lessons, and to instill an appreciation for the music, the arts, and different cultures and communities around them, okay? So I hope this gave you the confidence to make music a part of your child's life yourself, even if you don't have much of a musical background. So thanks for coming, everyone. If you have any questions about anything that I spoke about today, please leave them in the comments and I'll come back in the next day or so to answer them. And before I go, I'm just going to attach this really cool article. It's like a research paper that was led by Carnegie Hall. And it kind of summarizes a lot of the stuff that I spoke about today, about how music positively impacts development. Oh my gosh, thanks, Danielle. That means so much. That's so sweet. And thanks so much, Nat. And thank you so much to everyone who came. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you're all inspired to, um, incorporate music into your child's lives. And yeah, that's it for me. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope you stay safe out there. The freezing rain is pretty intense. So, um, yeah, have a nice night, everyone. Take care. Bye.